Fill it with a blend of aromatics, 2 bay leaves, 1/2 teaspoon dried thyme, and 8 parsley stems, which I broke in half to fit into the sachet. You're going to pour each of the ingredients onto the cheesecloth. Let's start with the bay leaves. Grab the bay leaves. Pour them onto the cheesecloth. Put the empty cup on the cart. Next, grab the thyme. Pour it onto the cheesecloth. Put the empty cup on the cart. Finally, the parsley. Pour the parsley onto the cheesecloth. Put the empty bowl on the cart. Now to fold the cheese. Nice! Grab the top of the cheesecloth. Twist it to... Let me tie this with twine. See how I left one end extra long? That's so we can tie it to the pot handle later. The sachet's ready to use. We're going to make white stock first. I'll set up your mise en place. White stock's subtle flavor is perfect for a variety of soups and sauces. To make white stock, you'll need chicken and beef bones, the sachet you just made, and lots of water. You'll also use carrots, celery, and onions. To start, we'll season the water with chicken and beef bones, adding flavor, color, and body. Grab the tongs from the cart. Position them around this chicken bone, then press the trigger to pick it up. Position the tongs around this chicken bone, then press the trigger to pick it up. Position the tongs around this chicken bone, then press... You got it! Place it in the stock pot. Good! Next, pick up this beef bone. Pick up the tongs and place the chicken bone. Place it in the stock pot. Place the beef bone in the stock pot. Yep. Return the tongs to the cart. Let me get the rest of the bones in here. Next, we add the gallon of water. Grab it from the cart. Pour the water into the stock pot. Return the container to the cart. Always fully submerge the bones to extract all of their flavor as you boil. Let me set the stove to high. Once it comes to a boil, you're going to turn down the heat and let it simmer. Low and slow means better flavor. There we go. Grab this knob on the stove and turn it to low. After the stock simmered for a while, you'll see foam form on the surface. This is called scum. To keep the stock as clear as possible, we've got to remove it with a skimmer spoon. Grab it from the counter. Glide the skimmer spoon across the surface of the stock to remove the scum. Nice job! We've got to skim it a few times to get clear stock. Check it out. There we go. Nice and clear. Next, we'll be adding a classic mirepoix, which is a combination of diced vegetables, 2 parts onion, 1 part carrots, and 1 part celery. I'll combine them in a bowl. Now you're going to add it to the stock. I'll hold the bowl while you spoon it into the stock pot. Grab the ladle from the cart. Scoop up some of the mirepoix. Carefully ladle it into... Scoop up the rest of the mirepoix. Carefully ladle it into the simmering stock. There you go. Set the ladle on the cart. Good. Now for the sachet you made earlier. Touch the sachet and I'll tie it to the pot handle. We've got to let this stock simmer for 6 to 8 hours, periodically checking it to skim the scum and make sure the stock is clear. Looks like our stock's ready. Let me turn off the stove. You're going to strain the stock with 2 different sieves. First, you'll use a china cap to filter larger chunks, then a chinois to strain finer pieces. You're going to need oven mitts to protect your hands. Pick up a mitt. Great, now put it on your other hand. Do the same with the second mitt. All right. Use both hands to pick up the pot. Pour the stock through the china cap. Good. Set the empty stock pot back on the stove. I'll put these away. Let me clean up a bit. Next up, the chinois. Use both hands to pick up the container of stock. Pour the stock through the chinois into the next container. Whoa, careful! Careful, it's heavy and extremely hot. Use both hands. Set the empty container on the cart. Well done. I'll clean up. It's important to cool the stock as quickly as possible to prevent bacteria from growing. I filled the sink with ice to create an ice bath. Now, let me set the stock directly in there to help it cool more quickly. Next, we use an ice paddle, which is a sturdy plastic bottle filled. Put it into the stock. Once that gets past the food temperature danger zone, we can place it in the fridge. Remember, hot stock in a cold fridge is a dangerous recipe. Let me clean up and get everything organized. On to the brown stock. While white stock has light color and subtle flavor, brown stock is rich with a strong aroma. Here's our mise en place. We have beef bones in a roasting pan, tomato paste, cold water, mirepoix, and a new sachet. To give brown stock its signature flavor, you'll brush the beef bones with tomato paste before roasting them. The acid brings out more flavor as the meat caramelizes. Grab the pastry brush from the table. Dip it in the tomato paste. Brush the paste on one of the bones. Good. Keep going. Brush paste on the rest of the bones. Put the pastry brush. Time to roast. I preheated the oven to 375 degrees. Let me get these in the oven. They'll go for about an hour, but we've got to turn them after 30 minutes. All right, time to flip them so they roast evenly. Here we go, and back into the oven for another half hour. They're done. Let's head back to the stove. Grab the tongs from the cart. Position them around this beef bone, then press the trigger to pick it up. Position the tongs around this beef bone, then press the trigger to pick it up. Place it in the stock pot. Place the beef bone in the stock pot. Nice! Return the tongs to the cart. I'll take care of the rest of the bones. See all the bits of food stuck to the pan? That's called fond. We combine this with mirepoix to add a ton of flavor. I'll move the pan over to the stove and turn the burners to medium. Here's more mirepoix. Let me add it to the heated pan. The fat in the fond will caramelize it. Grab the tongs from the cart. Use them to mix the mirepoix with the fond at the bottom. Now we've got to deglaze the pan with cold water, which helps loosen the fond. I'll pour some into the pan. Use the tongs to mix everything together and scrape the bottom. Return the tongs to the cart. This'll add a ton of flavor. Let me just pour it into the stock pot with the bones. I've got to add enough water to fully submerge the bones. There we go. Time to add the sachet. Touch the sachet and I'll tie it to the pot handle, then submerge it in the stock. Ready to boil the bones? Let me set the stove to high. Once it comes to a boil, you're going to turn down the heat and let it simmer. There we go. We typically simmer for a couple hours. I'll keep skimming the surface as scum rises. Done. Help me strain the stock? Remember to wear oven mitts. Touch the china cap and I'll do a... Thanks. Touch the chinois and... We did it! The stock looks great. Now for the ice paddle. And into an ice bath. Once that gets past the food temperature danger zone, we can place it in the fridge. Great work making brown stock. Now it's time to try it on your own. You'll be